Hello everyone, my name is Latha John. I am a Senior Developer and Integrations Lead at Optimize.is. We are the two-time Airtable Partner of the Year, where we help teams build smarter systems. In this video, what I'll be going over is a Webex Airtable integration, where I'll show you how projects in Airtable can automatically get their own Webex space. When a new project is created, a room is spun up in Webex, and all the project members are added to it. As the project moves to the different statuses in Airtable, updates are posted directly into the Webex space. So, building off the last video, I'm going to be using the same Webex bot that we created. So going back to my project table, I added in a few fields. So I have a checkbox called create Webex space. So this can be a manual trigger or an automatic trigger. So if you want it to be as soon as a new project is created, you just want to automatically have a Webex space created. You do not need this checkbox, but for the sake of this demo, I'll have it as a manual trigger. And then what I have here is a Webex Space ID. So once we make the API call to create the room, we'll bring back the Space ID so that later we can post new messages to it. In order to get that functionality, we're simply using two different API endpoints. One of them will be create a room. So basically we will have the title of the room, and then we're going to use the project name to be the title of that room. So there's a few different things that you can do. You can have a description of the space, the ID of the team for which this room is associated with. But for the sake of simplicity, we'll just be doing the title. So once we have the room created, how do we add the people to it? What we're going to be leveraging is create a membership. So this is where we add someone to the room, either using their ID or their email address. What we're going to do here is we'll be leveraging the email. So two things we'll need the person email, and then we'll need the room ID. So now going back to Airtable, since now I have my create a Webex space and Webex Space ID, now I'm ready to start my automation. So I'm going to create new automation here, where the trigger is when record matches condition on my table project, where I have the create Webex space checkbox is checked. And now I will have an action item to run a script. So I'm going to have the record ID of my project in here. And then I'm going to be leveraging the same secret that we used in our previous video here. So with the script, again, I'm making two API calls, one to create the room, and then once I create the room, I'm grabbing the room ID and then adding membership to it. So adding a specific person using their email address. So what I have it right here based off is the assignee field. So it just has my email right now. So again, we'll have create a room, and then we'll just add a add membership here using the post command. So now all we'd have to do is just simply click on create Webex space, and then I will pick that record. And then now I'm going to run my script. So I can see if I go back here, it created the Webex space and it saved the space ID. And now if I go up to Webex, it created my space ID as sample project alpha, matching the name of my project. So now the second step of this demo is, let's say I wanted so that each time the status field changes, I wanted to send out a Webex notification in that space, just letting everybody know about the status of this project. So now, let me just call this as create Webex space, and I'm going to add another automation here, send status updates to Webex space. So I'm going to have the trigger is when record gets updated in my projects table on status field, and then I'm going to add conditional logic. So I only want this automation to trigger if the Webex Space ID is not empty, and so that's just so that we don't have any failures in case that gets triggered on a project that does not have a Webex Space. So I'm going to have the automation run here when Webex Space is not empty. And then I'm going to pass it the record ID from my trigger. Webex bot token. So what I have here is just a simple script that will create a message using the same endpoint that we covered on the last video. So we're creating a message. This time we're sending directly to the room ID here. So we're using the Webex Space ID in order to send that message to that space. So we have this endpoint with just the room ID and then just some simple markdown. So now we would just have to click on run tests on sample project alpha. As you can see, I just got the Webex notification here for a status update for sample project alpha and then status not started. So again, there's a few different ways that you can apply this. A very good use case that we come across often is through an approval workflow. So let's say that there is a compliance process that needs that goes through approval workflow. So you can have it so that it triggers when all the approvals are done. It notifies the whole team, and then there's a process for like reviewing of like legal documents as well that you can have with this specific use case. Thank you for watching. If you'd like us to implement this integration and more for you, feel free to check out the link in the description below where we can help you with all your Airtable needs.